Hi, welcome to 3 Minute Sunday School. I'm Jeremy,
I'm Emmy.
and we are the Rogers family. And today we wanted to talk about Helaman 1 through 6. One of the main things that happens in Helaman 1 through 6 is pride cycles. You notice it happen a lot throughout the chapters, is that at one moment the Nephites are righteous, and then the Lamanites are righteous, and they're teaching each other, and there's a lot that we can learn from what happens with them. One thing that we noticed is that periods of prosperity and time and hard times are characterized by righteousness and unrighteousness, and the book really focuses on that fact and talks about all the bad things people are doing when hard times come, and also on the good things that people are doing when the good times come.
Mm-hmm. It can be really easy for the people in the Book of Mormon to turn to faith and to Christ during times of hardship and then completely lose it as soon as they have any prosperity. But one of these periods of wickedness, Nephi and Lehi, Nephi, who was one of the chief judges, they go on a little missionary tour of the entire land, and they are very successful, so successful, in fact, that some people hate them for it and capture them and put them in prison. But during that time, they got surrounded by the Spirit of God and pillars of fire, and that experience led to a lot of people there converting.
Yeah, and one thing that I noticed from that experience is that the voice that they heard while they were surrounded by fire was a whispering voice. It describes it as a voice of mildness. And this is happening while the walls are crumbling around them and the earth is trembling. And I feel like this can be applied to us as well. How sometimes, I don't think the voice was necessarily accentuated by the trembling, but rather they had to pay attention to the voice despite the trembling and everything falling around them. And in our lives, that can apply to us when maybe things aren't going well, maybe things are going really poorly in our lives, and it's at that moment that we really want to focus on the Spirit the most.
Mm-hmm. And one thing that really stood out to me when reading this chapter was just how many ways the power of God was made manifest. There was the earth trembling, there were the pillars of fire, there was the cloud of darkness, and there was the still small voice that pierced their hearts. Mm-hmm. And I just thought it was super significant that God speaks to us all in many different ways, and yes.
Yeah, and after that experience, the Lamanites turn around and teach the Nephites. And I think that one thing that we can learn from this is sometimes we're going to be taught lessons from people that we don't think should be teaching us, that we don't think have any right to teach us something new. But as we listen to the Spirit, we will find that the Spirit will communicate it through us, not only through a still small voice, but also through others.
Mm-hmm. So we had some things we wanted to leave you guys with, some questions to ponder throughout the week. Mm-hmm. The first which being, how do you feel the Spirit? How does the Spirit talk to you? And what are some ways that you can maximize opportunities for the Spirit to talk to you in that way?
Mm-hmm. And finally, how can you learn to listen to people that you wouldn't otherwise listen to? How can you open your heart to listen to the Spirit, not only through the promptings of the Spirit itself, but also through other people?
Yeah. And we wanted to leave that with you with a promise that if you sincerely listen, if you listen to God and pour out your heart, He will speak to you. He will find His ways and He will speak to you.
Yep. And we leave that with you in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.